A very good evening to you all and welcome to our second and final edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV this Monday, the 11th day of November 2024. First of all, let's have a look at our top stories. President Yoweri Museveni commissions Skills Development Center in Chibuku, rallies leaders on employable skills. At least 142,009 Senior 6 candidates start writing exams at 2,634 registration centers. Participants attribute land conflicts in Buganda to the Milo land tenure system. And in sports rugby, Africa Sevens Lady Cranes secure bronze, qualify for 2025 World Challenger Series. Hello there and welcome once again. We are coming to you live, online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. In sign language, it is Senyomo Yusuf and I am Rukidi Edward Kijana Ngoma. Now, President Yoweri Museveni has encouraged leaders to rally youth behind embracing employable skills that empower them to get jobs. He was commissioning the Skills Development Center in Chibuku, where at Bukedi Skills Hub in Tirinyi Town Council, Chibuku District, youth train in carpentry, metal fabrication, building and concrete practice. He told leaders that unemployment can be addressed if youth embrace government skills development programs. Take a watch. As soon as the president arrived, he was treated to this thunderous welcome and taken through a guided tour of the skilling hub. The tour that saw him witness what takes place here, his own idea coming to fruition. From carpentry to building, hairdressing and tailoring, lives among youth are changing.
The good part of it is that when they come, they really show that they want to learn. Now our work is only to ensure that they really get the best of us, which is the skills training that we always give them.
This was not all. Fish farming ponds and dairy farming ventures attracted the attention of the president.
So, our dear Excellence, our Jaja, I'm requesting you to continue supporting me so that I can expand and get more learners, because I'm ready to give out the skills I got and make a change to our district.
Testimonies from former students impressed the president.
Because here, Wangan, we are bringing children from the whole of Bukedi. From their homes. So we need to accommodate them here. Don't they stay here?
Yes,
we need to accommodate them here. We need to accommodate them here because of that.
Such is what he has been promoting, urging societies to embrace these initiatives.
Tuave tukole kinyere ekyo tukwale OMUPE ingane ekiri eriona tukitwale kyatuyamba,
which is easier because it is from home to school and back.
Area leaders agreed with the head of state on such initiatives being a solution to unemployment.
I'm happy to inform you that these children study freely. They don't pay any coin. They are provided with the food, free beddings, training materials, and their instructors are paid well, Your Excellency.
What is being envisioned now is the establishment of district circles to cater for graduating students from these skilling hubs.
Now the controller has brought a very good idea which I have approved.
Kale okontrola gwe musanyukire inaanu aleetera amagezi o president yagamba okuyikirira n'okuteekako omukono.
She said, let's have a circle per district. nga Kobati tubenesako uli district district yomusanvu jonjona je Bukedi jonjona uli district yebenesako. The circle of the graduates of here.
Skilling hubs is an idea meant to cater for youth in each sub-region of the country, Bukedi being one of them. I'm Nafka Farida and Henry Okrut.
Now, the rate at which pupils and students continue dropping out of schools in Bukedi sub-region has angered key government officials, with many putting the blame on local leaders for laxity as communities languish in sorrow. These and other concerns were raised during the three-day visit to the region by President Museveni, who was accompanied by some members of cabinet and political leaders.
The population of Bukedi sub-region is 2 million.
It is estimated that Bukedi sub-region in eastern Uganda has a population of 2.3 million.
With a life expectancy of 72 years.
On this, children between the age of 10 to 19 are the majority.
The total fertility rate in Bukedi region is 6.5 children per woman, compared to the national average of 5.2.
While addressing leaders from the 7 districts which make up the sub-region in Butalija district, the Health Minister Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng ranked Bukedi top among the areas with the highest early marriages and pregnancy.
Teenage pregnancy rate is the highest at 29.5% of women 15 to 19 years who have begun childbearing, compared to a national average of 24%.
Pregnancies, and it was also partly contributed to the COVID lockdown. Most of our children were out of school for 2 years.
Ministry of Health and Education Statistics also ranked top the sub-region for the highest numbers of school dropouts in the country.
The policy is every child should be enabled to go to school, stay there until he has completed the cycle.
The advice I can give to our people is to make sure that, especially the young girls, to stay in school. Like, let us be able to be patient.
The above statistics irritated the Prime Minister of Uganda, Right Honorable Robin Anabanja.
Abana bana abava mu ssomero ba muzeeyi banabanja bani. The lowest common mode of development is education.
Addressing the community of Bukedi sub-region on Sunday at Kiboko, Zonal Presidential Hub, Nabanja had no kind words to the resident district commissioners.
Headmaster abo baba we bali wano. Twagala mutubulire kibateekesa ebisale ku ssomero kiki? Kubanga omusaala bagubasasula. Abasomesa bwaba batono, lwaki temutubuulira? Fene twongeramu abasomesa. I am the leader of government business. Ndi wano mumbulire ekibateekesa ebisale ku ssomero kiki okugyamu abaana b'abanaku mu masomero. Arabisaliwa. Bw'oba nawe tolina maanyi tujja kujjayo wano. Saagala sawulidde saakoze ki?
District chairpersons and chief administrative officers were not spared by the angry premier.
Mbu extra teachers ebyo byonna bya bubbi. Kakati baba bagala extra teachers bawandiike okuyita owa DEO aweereze mu Ministry of Education. Mr. Kao, I want you in January or even before to get the payroll of all teachers in your schools.
According to the State Minister in charge of higher education, Dr. John Chrysostom Muhingo, government has in the past years increased budget allocations to Bukedi, as well as constructing tertiary institutions and extending scholarships to the area.
The total budget allocation for UPE, for example, US EU Polit and other grants increased from shillings 228.8 billion in financial 2023-2024 to 34.7 billion in financial year 2024-2025.
Look at Bukedi. Bukedi, we are not faring well. Our poverty levels index is still high. So that means that we still need to fight poverty at household level.
Because we know when people are poor, they will not even understand anything to do with the governance or anything to do with the development. Poverty in a household is what affects national progress and national unity.
While winding up his tour to the sub-region, President Museveni left a note behind that indeed governments will soon lose patience on the heads of schools charging fees in government-aided schools. Robert Anyango, UBC News.
Now, Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Kataha Museveni, has urged parents and guardians to support education of their children. She was represented by Minister for Security, General Jim Muhwezi, at the Thanksgiving and fundraising ceremony of Nyabugashe High School in Rukunjiri District.
Nyabugashe High School is government's commitment to provide secondary education to communities under the Universal Secondary Education UCE program. It is achieved through construction of 6 secondary schools and grant aiding existing community schools.
When Kwaku fundraising age yaboherezayo miliyoni 10 abwa fundraising age. Yes.
In her speech delivered by the Minister for Security, Retired Major General Jim Muhwezi, the First Lady of Uganda, Janet Kataha Museveni, says government provides wages for the core teaching and non-teaching staff, capitation grants towards the school's operational costs, instructional materials, and support for essential infrastructure.
All join hands to do our best to make our schools safe and secure for learning. Please promote faith-based psychosocial support in the schools and encourage young people to seek God through prayer, worship, and participating in faith-based clubs.
At least over the last 15 years, the NRM government has committed resources towards the education sector and to the secondary education through the ongoing UGFIT.
UGIFT. Iyi amashomero agarengere igani 10 gombekirwe kandi gabeire gatongoziwe. Omuri omuchweka chokubanza cha programu Veterinary phase 1.
She noted that as they expand secondary education, there is need to increase enrollment in the existing secondary schools, including facilities in these schools.
About the welfare of our learners and to remind all the head teachers around the country of their duty to ensure that all schools are protected from the current social and moral threats that affect our young people.
The First Lady also advised parents to work with the school management to establish a boarding section for learners who travel long distances to reach the school, especially the girls.
Bichweka ebirumu obutatebekani harimu insecurity umwana naremwa kuguma naraba umuharumu ibizubu kuza kushoma yahodeketengesa okubombekera ishomero konka sheberire kuba compulsory nari kugemwa omuzaire orana abasa areta omwana on boarding school otari kubasa yana basa kumushomeseza nka day scholar nka day student agumizemo ashome.
The school administration and religious leaders appreciated the First Lady's support towards the education sector.
Tumusime munonga ahabwo gwebembeza burungi ahabwa ministry y'ubwegezi kandi ekitumere haba mu businguzo bw'ebintu byingi rero yahinduka yatunga ekishani kirungi ekeyino bwa hatiya kurabira omubwebembeza bweye oburungi kandi obukuranziyari.
Story compiled by Kenneth Tanaba for UBC News.
Now, Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Judith Nabakoba, says that the only way to mitigate the ongoing land conflicts in Uganda is by reviewing the land policy. During the first phase of the stakeholders' engagements on the land policy in central Uganda, Nabakoba tasked all participants to list issues affecting their areas. We have more in this story.
And in most of our districts, you might find that some districts still have land.
Ministry of Lands has commenced the first phase of Buganda region consultations on the draft national land policy. During the engagements, participants noted the key challenges affecting the region, which were not limited to the Milo land tenure system that has caused numerous conflicts in the region.
Landlords, tenants are fighting. Why don't we have a system by the ministry to put these two people on board and offer land out of conflict for development? It will bring youth empowerment, employment, and it's possible, Honorable Minister.
Participants were drawn from Kampala, Wachiso, Buyikwe, Buvuma, Nakaseke, Luwero, Mukono, Kayunga, and Nakasongola. The land conflicts are said to have given rise to issues like nominal ground rent, eviction of occupants, and unclear definition of tenancy.
We already have this register. Kezako kumanya ba tenants abali kutaka ly'Obwakabaka weewaawo nga tetunnamalayo. It requires so much work that we haven't even done.
Mukono RDC Hajat Fatuman Dibasa noted that land-related challenges faced in central Buganda are primarily due to lack of knowledge on land matters and a poor understanding of the land tenure system.
In Mukono, who have 13 square miles, having forests, but behind these forests we find people settled there, but there is no development that can reach because of these chunks of forests. What can government do on such people?
The IGAD head of mission to Uganda, Jocelyn Bigirwa, urged all stakeholders that while reviewing the policy they need to focus on the needs of the vulnerable and disadvantaged groups.
Reviewing of the national land policy for us is very critical because we understand that land is a prerequisite for socio-economic development, but it's also a source of conflict.
The Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Judith Nabakoba, emphasized reviewing the land policy to address the ongoing land conflicts.
Do we have plans of safeguarding some land, not only for today, but also for the future generations? We are having new cities that are created, and with the creation of the cities, that means that we are getting even expansion of more urban centers.
The regional meetings for the review of Uganda's national land policy in the Uganda cluster are the first phase in the region. Susan Naunga reporting for ABC TV.
Now, a total of 142,009 candidates have started writing Uganda Advanced Certificate of Education examinations across the country. They are sitting at 2,634 registration centers. Now, preliminary findings show that the examinations started peacefully and on time. Faith Kane gives us more.
The Uganda National Examinations Board registered a total of 142,009 USCE candidates this year. UNEB deployed 991 contracted professionals and 470 security personnel to supervise the examinations.
In terms of gender, we have 61,968 candidates, that's about 43.6%, who are females, while 80,041 candidates, that is 56.4%, being male candidates.
By 7:30 this morning, USE candidates were already set for their examinations, starting mathematics paper 1 and history.
And it has been a really good paper because our teacher prepared us for it.
That we're all going to pass because the questions were all familiar to us. We knew everything that we were doing. Our teachers prepared us for it.
We registered a total of 54 candidates who are sitting in the USCE. We don't have any special needs. They are all present.
Because we are prepared, we are very prepared and confident that we are going to pass. But of course, you can't miss nature. We are kind of nervous, but of course, we know we are going to do it.
We've prepared enough. So as we can watch, we could pass these examinations.
Our learners in examination, we have really prepared them well by completing the syllabus, having internal and external seminars and facilitations.
The head teacher at Chisante Secondary School emphasized that candidates with pending school requirements will not access their results via SMS.
Thank God for the weather, it has been quite very good. Once it rains, this being a day school, students reach quite late and it can affect us. And invigilators also get challenged to reach. However, because of no rain, we have been able to pick the exams on time.
The candidates of Makerere College School and St. Joseph Nazareth High School were all upbeat and confident of success.
Fair, it was okay. It was a good day. It wasn't that. It was a little bit challenging, but we were able to do the paper very well. So
challenges, I would say, was maybe fear and everything, but when we went there and got used to the situation, it was okay.
We have started our USCE examination with the 74 candidates. We started with the mathematics paper 1 and history paper 3. The students are in their normal state and the teachers did their part, and for us we are prepared to receive.
Very good, nothing we did not expect. We had prepared very well for it.
A good paper. There was no surprise, there was nothing challenging. Yes, I expect the very best.
The season has begun with a lot of excitement. The children are ready, the children are prepared, and we know the best will come out of it. The morning papers seem to have been friendly to the children.
Kayen Faith and Mike Bakawlindi for UBC.
Now, Minister of State for Youth and Children Affairs, Balaam Barugahara, has reiterated government of Uganda's commitment in putting in place an enabling environment for the youth to thrive. Now, addressing the steering committee of Africa's Youth Ministers Conference convening in Kigali, Rwanda, Balaam informed the gathering that Uganda has in place economic and empowerment projects that are targeting the youth. We have more in this story.
The steering committee meeting of Africa's youth ministers convening in Kigali, Rwanda, has entered day 2. One of the notable participants at the conference is Uganda's Youth and Children Affairs Minister Balaam Barugahara.
We started with the National Youth Policy in 2019, which focuses on youth empowerment and education and employment. Then we have the Youth Livelihood Program, where young people borrow money from $1,000 to $4,000 for startup kits. Then we have the Uganda Youth Venture Capital Fund, which offers financing for innovative youth-led setups. And our government recently started the Ministry of Science and Technology.
At the event, Balaam took time to take the audience through steps the government of Uganda is taking to champion the youth's transformation agenda.
Innovation and entrepreneurship. We have the presidential initiative on job creation, which aims at creating 500 jobs annually. Then the non-government organizations also have the Outbox Hub, the Tech Innovation Hub providing incubation, mentorship and funding, high collaborative workspace for entrepreneurs and innovation, Makerere University Innovation Bureau, which is fostering innovation and entrepreneurship, Uganda Christian University Innovation Hub, which encourages innovation and entrepreneurship, MTN Uganda's Innovation Lab, which supports startup growth through funding, mentorship and training. But then also we have programs and competitions, like that competition I saw yesterday where 4 young people with brilliant ideas They came up with 4 ideas.
The Youth Connect 24 annual event for young innovators and entrepreneurs is majorly looking at creating jobs for the youth, has attracted participation from across the African continent. Fortunate Ahereza for UBC.
To Kisoro now, where security has been beefed up in Kisoro district ahead of the anticipated visit of President Yoweri Museveni this Tuesday, the 12th day of November 2024. President Museveni is expected to settle the political differences within the NRM party, although there is emerging conflict of interest based on religious ties.
The race for Kisoro District Woman Member of Parliament seat has been marred with challenges within the NRM party and involvement of religious leaders supporting different candidates. The Bishop Muhabura Diocese, Right Reverend Mbise Godfrey, told the people of Kisoro that he wants free and fair elections, urging government to let them elect the leaders of their choice.
That if you want Kisoro people to live at peace, you guard the elections, and the one who passes through. Whether any RM or independent or a certain party, because we all live in Kisoro.
Religious leaders from the Catholic Church have also held a meeting with Reverend Father Sebatwale Joseph. He said Protestants must not attend rallies for Catholics.
I have talked with most of the reverends. We have to live with the politics of all of the times, so that we calm down, we sit down, we say this is our Kisoro, where we have been a problem Protestant Catholics, and to the extent that we will not even reach the extent of saying we don't want any Catholic or Protestant to occupy any offices in Kisoro.
The director NRM Mobilization, Rosemary Seninde, is concerned on how religious leaders are indulging in the politics of Kisoro.
Opportunity, first of all, to thank His Excellency the President for finding time to come and campaign with us. Kisoro would be an easy district to campaign in, because all the people in Kisoro support NRM. The only challenge we have found in this by-election is the divisions in Kisoro is just beyond unimaginable circumstances. I want to say that the people have divided themselves based on religious sentiments, which is wrong.
Kigezi police spokesperson Eli Matete says police is monitoring the security in the district. Meanwhile, the National Unity Platform President Robert Chagulanyi is also in Kisoro, campaigning for Zubedi Sultan.
We'll now take a short break, but we'll be returning with much more. Do stay with us.
Uganda! This is it! Bring that fire like never before as Uganda Cranes takes on South Africa on 15th November at 4 p.m. Ewa Nambole! One more win! Gatugenda wa mo AFCON 2025! No panya, no calculator! Nkubidori, wacha wewe! Katugwe chicho, buy your ticket using Momo at only 25k for ordinary. Atemwa abakashi! Ordinary goes for 30k, 50k for VIP, and 150k for Mparendebedeba Platinum! Each ticket comes with a free train ride to Nambole. Get your tickets from MTN service centers at Jagberodi, Zebra House, Crested Towers, and Clock Tower. To avoid delays, or simply scan the code on your smartphone for easy entry into the stadium. Why? Remember, no physical tickets will be issued or sold at Nambole. Proudly brought to you by MTN, the #1 supporter of Uganda's football. Together, we are unstoppable.
In the heart of Uganda, a financial revolution is happening. We were once left out, saving the old-fashioned way, with an unexpected saving spot, keeping it too close for comfort. But now, we found a better way to save and manage money. Download the Wendy app from Google Play or App Store or dial *229#. With Wendy, your money is safe and you can earn interest daily. Visit your Google Play or App Store or dial *229# to register. Wendy Wanawoli.
Honorable Fred Biamukama, Minister of State for Works and Transport in charge of transport, invites you to the launch of the 4-acre model campaign in the Greater Chibale District's Bunyoro sub-region. The event will take place at Chikwaya Primary School Playground, Kakumiro District on November 15, 2024, starting at 10 a.m. and will be graced by His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni. All residents, civil servants and the leaders from the districts that make up Greater Chibale, Kakumiro, Chibale, Kagadi, Chikube and neighboring areas are encouraged to attend in large numbers. This initiative, led by the president, aims to bring ordinary people into the money economy by showcasing farmers who have succeeded in the 1-acre model, 2-acre model, 3-acre model and 4-acre model. Join local leaders and residents in learning how small land can be used to enhance food security and socio-economic growth. Don't miss this opportunity to witness the transformative impact on local communities.
Welcome back, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Now, about 150 Ugandan citizens who had been arrested and kept in deportation prisons in the United Arab Emirates have been deported back to Uganda, while others have been given amnesty up to the 31st of December 2024. This has been revealed by Esther Anyakun, the State Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development in charge of employment and industrial relations.
This moment, you allow me to...
Government has ferried back over 150 Ugandans who were locked up in the United Arab Emirates prisons and others given amnesty.
So far, 146 Ugandans have been repatriated back home. That is within a period of 1 week. The latest being the 54 Ugandans, girls who arrived over this weekend aboard Air Arabia, and also those arriving today at 2 p.m. again from Saudi Arabia.
Unlicensed companies are partly blamed for exporting workers without making them conversant with the Sharia laws, which expose them to criminality and prostitution.
So people are being trafficked by those companies that are not licensed by government, and this is how they end up in those foreign countries. They end up being trafficked, end up doing things that are very unlawful. Our children live in this country with those companies that are not registered with us, and when they reach there, because they are not coordinated with the companies which are existing in those countries, they end up in places, brothels, and then they put them straight away into prostitution. So as the ministry, now we are saying that this amnesty that has been given, and also the pardoning that has been given, let those people regularize their stay there, or they come back home. Because after that, we are going to destroy the mama biyumbas, where the prostitution is breeding from. We are going to ensure that those people who are fake and traffickers will be taken up by the government, those governments there. And this will be taken very seriously.
Government's plan for the deported convicts is to get them involved in livelihood empowerment programs, such as skilling and the parish development model.
But as government, we are also trying to see that we accumulate the numbers so that we can have a cabinet paper presented to cabinet and see if the government of Uganda can be able to give them support in our other programs. We have youth skilling programs. We have so many programs in government. We can give others in yoga, we can put others in PDM as a special case of people who need attention and support from us.
Ugandans in Saudi Arabia and the UAE are urged to take advantage of the amnesty period, which will expire on the 31st December 2024. Winnie Ainembaba's Katire for UBC.
In a related development, denial to employment rights to externalized Ugandan workers in the Middle East has been attributed to delay to negotiate and fast-track enforceable bilateral labor agreements, which has left most Ugandans distressed. Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs Muwada Nkunyingi, while addressing the media on foreign affairs issues, said government needs to strengthen employment rights and protection of Ugandan migrant workers.
Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs and also Chadondo East Legislator Muwada Nkunyingi has appreciated the International Organization for rescuing, repatriating and rehabilitating trafficked and distressed Ugandan nationals upon returning, including migrant workers. It is currently being done for returnees from Saudi Arabia, UAE.
The numbers of distressed Ugandans in foreign countries continue to rise, notably in the Middle East. The strategy must not only center and end on pleading for a pardon for those who are detained, but must with urgency be stretched towards strengthening employment rights and protection of Uganda migrant workers, plus establishing fair arbitration mechanism under the bilateral agreements on work-related disputes.
Mwada was concerned over Ugandans abroad complaining about the lack of consular services, where issuance of national passports has stopped in some countries.
America and the United Arab Emirates, the embassy in Abu Dhabi, have since stopped issuance of national passports and IDs. And the few Ugandans who succeeded in acquiring passports through the embassy in Abu Dhabi, the Uganda embassy in Abu Dhabi, are complaining that they are being issued passports of a validity of 2 years only, without any explanation.
He attributed the issue of Ugandan ambassadors being recalled from different countries to Ministry of Foreign Affairs' failure to finalize a codified foreign policy.
This trend is alarming and necessitates a detailed inquiry on the entire operation of the sector of foreign affairs. Something must be wrong. Partly denied Uganda diplomats guidance, hence resorting to politicking in contravention of the Vienna Convention.
Mwada also congratulated Donald Trump upon being elected the President of the United States of America.
Must join efforts because America is a strategic international partner in our pursuit for a democratic change in this country, where electoral processes are trustable and justifiable.
He reveals plans of coming out with a comprehensive alternative policy for the sector of foreign affairs. I'm Nafka Farid and Gloria Gwetabenji at Parliament.
Uganda Police Force has issued a warning to the public about a rising trend of passengers being sedated and robbed in buses and other public transport. Authorities link the emerging trend to the upcoming festive season and urge the public to be vigilant at all times.
As the festive season approaches, unscrupulous individuals have begun using fraudulent tactics to exploit travelers, particularly by dragging them on public transport and stealing their valuables.
We have observed consistent patterns of criminals sedating bus passengers. Most perpetrators of such offences often deceive victims into consuming food and drinks laced with the sedatives before robbing them.
In preparation for a secure festive season, police have ramped up operations and intensified efforts to crack down on criminality.
As police, we are in discussions with the bus company management to address this growing issue. However, we urge the public to remain vigilant and cautious when eating meals during journeys.
Police commanders are directed to increase vigilance and highway patrols. In other news, law enforcement on Masaka Villa Maria Road intercepted a car carrying stolen cattle over the weekend.
They get animals and park them in cars, in taxis. You find them in the Ipsums like this one, all sorts of small cars. And the smaller the animal, the better for them. But we are asking for vigilance. And now that we are heading for a festive season, the animals are on high demand.
In Kazo, Kawempe Division, police arrested Kajuko Abdallah Jagwe, who was found in possession of a machete and other burglary tools.
This one, the good thing about them also is that there was high community participation. We are now experiencing, ever since giving out information on our urge to carry out these operations, we are experiencing a situation where the community is willing to give us information. Then also in the local councils, they usually come and participate.
Meanwhile, security is focusing on crime hotspots and implementing strategies to counter rising incidents of theft, burglary, and highway robberies countrywide. In this mission, they appeal for vigilance and support from the public. Abdul Nasir Lubwama and Rogers Komagum for UBC.
Now, 3 witnesses in the murder case of Susan Magara have told court how the 8 accused persons used the ransom money from the deceased family to buy 2 Isuzu cars, which they later sold in spare parts. The hearing of the case is before Judge Alex Ajiji at High Court Criminal Division here in Kampala.
Prosecution witness number 33 Muhammad Hamaru, working with the Chatka Bondi along Ginger Road in Inakawa, has testified in the murder case of accountant Susan Magara before Judge Alex Ajiji. The accused Rubega Yusuf called him to sell him a Isuzu car, number UBD 704/F at 34 million.
To buy the Isuzu people from you. That's very important. So you said you can buy a Isuzu? Isuzu people. You want to do sweep exchange.
However, after the sales, Yusuf Rubega exchanged it with the car number plate USZ 224/C, and after some time police impounded the car on allegations that Yusuf Rubega had used it to commit offences.
I registered my Isuzu keeper, then I gave him training. Then next day police came. I want this not to carry Isuzu tipper around my night. You registered it how? And you use them? What number plate?
Prosecution witness number 34 was Detective Sergeant Lule Moses, who told court that together with the other police officers from Natete Police Station, led by the accused Rubega Yusufu, were led to a certain garage in Nalukolong of Ewan Isaac, where the accused had parked the car.
My lord, upon arriving at the station, they booked their presence.
We went to police here in Natete and
Case was kidnapped and murdered.
Prosecution witness number 35 Chigula Mutebi, a car dealer in Indeba, also sold another Isuzu car, number plate UAG, to Yusuf Rubega at 24 million.
I said that on the 22nd of February 2018. Yes. Uganda wange, nengendayo, nekijira went, then they had to take our inspectors the car together. They appreciated the condition of the car.
The vehicle was under registration now? Did it have a registration number?
All the 3 witnesses were cross-examined by the defense legal team with some evidence refuted. Judge Alex Ajiji later adjourned the case to 15th November 2024 for further hearing. Story compiled by Deborah Namamonde and Viola Nansubuga.
Let's momentarily go back to Senior 6 examinations, where today the candidates started with mathematics and history. And at Tebi Senior Secondary School, over 300 Senior 6 students commenced exams, and they commenced smoothly. The school team leader, Haji Muhammad Kamlegea, assured parents that the students are well prepared and committed to achieving top grades.
At Chidebi SS, students lined up for security check as they prepared to enter the examination rooms. the students were about to sit for history and mathematics exams.
I prepared myself. First of all, I just went to learn a lot because it has been a long journey ever since baby class up to now. But our teachers have prepared us very well. We are ready to get 20 points. Inshallah.
UNEB examinations, senior 6, 2024. And as I can assure you, we are ready enough. We have been led by our teachers. And as of today, we are totally ready so that we can try this thing. We want to lift our school high, to make it shine, and I hope that the whole country is going to be there to witness the next day of secondary school among the best schools in Uganda.
The school's team leader, Haj Muhammad Kabulegea, told UBC that the school has taken a firm stand against malpractice, which he termed as unethical.
Very optimistic that the results will be very suitable and will be very good because you reap what you sow. In this case, we are grateful to our teachers and all the stakeholders who have been part of this struggle, and we are optimistic that we shall get the best out of that. This is one of our core values. We cannot, and it has never been, and it will never be, to associate ourselves with such malpractices as I've had many people talking about. This has come from a clear training, and we are very, very optimistic, sure actually, that we shall get out victoriously in this exercise.
The atmosphere at Debbie Aces was charged with focus and optimism, reflecting the commitment of both students and the administration. Jamil Sekaja compiled this story.
Meanwhile, Uganda National Examinations Board, UNEB, has warned school heads against chasing away candidates due to unpaid school dues and registration fees. Senior 6 candidates countrywide are sitting for their final exams, and schools have also been warned against examination malpractice.
In Masaka district, head teachers of various schools picked the USCE examination papers early, and the S6 candidates started their final exams at exactly 9:15 a.m. The head teachers, Masaka City High School Joseph Mugera and Chikungwe SS Abubeka Moyengo, are some of the teachers who received the exams in time. UBC also visited Muza High School in Kabembe, Mukono district, with over 100 candidates. The principal, Annette Harriet Tusime, confirmed the school had no hitches and their students sat for the examinations promptly.
Here at Muza High School, our students have showed confidence. They are sober. I want to take this opportunity to thank the nation and also thank the parents for the support they have rendered to these learners, because if they have not given them any support, then these kids cannot do anything.
At Kagadi St. Adolphe, Tibeyarirwa SSS Mohoro Vincent Barakuraha, the head teacher of the school, decried lack of equipment for science subjects.
The laboratories are okay. One of the challenges are with the reagents, and then maybe the computers are not enough, but we shall do in shifts. All in all,
accommodation, we are lacking an examination hall where all candidates will be accommodated at once, and the invigilation will be easier. But now we are using classrooms which are accommodating them, and at least they are sufficient to accommodate them. But
in Chibale, the district inspector of schools, John Ntaragoboine, said 120 candidates are sitting for A-level exams, with only 4 centers of Notre Dame Academy, Bosesa, Chibale Academy, St. Chirigwaijo and St. Chizito Chibedi centers. The district inspector of schools, Kakumiro district, Mary Chofuna, says the exams arrived on time in all the 4 centers of St. Edward's, Bukumi, Uganda Matters SSS, St. Andrea Kahwa SSS, and Blessed Trinity SSS plus Nalweyo SS. She said no absenteeism was registered at the sitting centers. At Tandap,
we are grateful to our members of staff, the teachers, for the job well done, because all our candidates have very well been prepared for these examinations. I attribute this to the job well done by the teachers, and as well the confidence that these candidates have developed basing on our previous performances.
The Akasinga Center for Higher Education is a government-aided school with both secondary and tertiary education sections.
We have been teaching them well. They are prepared in all spheres of life. That's why I'm saying we are hoping for the best. We hope to get good results come 2025.
Grace Nashiganda, a UNEB official, warns school heads against examination malpractices and chasing away candidates from sitting the exams because of unpaid school and registration fees.
Now, the 29th Conference of the Parties, COP29, to the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change has officially commenced today in Baku, Azerbaijan. This year's event is a pivotal opportunity to accelerate action to tackle climate crisis. Denis Sigoa reports.
The 29th Conference of Parties in Baku, Azerbaijan, has brought together leaders from government, business and civil society to advance concrete solutions on climate change, a defining issue of our time.
The months since the COP28, the initiatives we launched have gathered real momentum and real pace. The world is set to break another record in renewable energy growth this year, adding over 500 gigawatts to global capacity. 55 companies have now joined the Oil and Gas Decarbonization Charter, committing to zero methane emissions by 2030 and net zero by or before 2050.
Climate change is already here. From flooded homes in Spain to forest fires in Australia, from rising oceans in the Pacific to barren plains in East Africa. Whether you see them or not, people are suffering in the shadows.
As a key focus of COP29 will be on finance, as trillions of US dollars are required for countries to drastically reduce greenhouse gas emissions and protect lives and livelihoods from the worsening impacts of climate change.
This means setting out clear climate plans and delivering the finance we need. These two pillars are mutually reinforcing, each sending a strong signal to the other. Because as we mobilize climate finance, we allow for higher ambitions. And as we signal together higher ambition, we build trust to unlock greater financial commitments. Dear colleagues, to enable action, the COP29 presidency's top priority is to agree a fair and ambitious new collective quantified goal on climate finance.
We must work harder to reform the global financial system.
This year's COP will also be a key moment for the global North and South countries to present their updated national climate action plans under the Paris Agreement due by early 2025. Following another year marked by record-high global heat and extreme weather events, UN Climate Chief Simon Stiell told negotiators at COP29 in Baku that setting an ambitious new climate finance target is crucial for the well-being of all nations. Denis Sigoa for UBC News.
To be a winner, you must have the discipline of a tiger. But when fueled with MTN Momo, winning is easy. Simply get your phone and use the Momo app or dial *165*3#, enter merchant code, enter amount, enter your Momo PIN, and pay. Congratulations! Your car is happy, and now you stand a chance to win mobile money with MTN Momo.
Hey,
Hey, business people of Uganda, the Ugandan National Lottery is coming. It's the perfect opportunity to boost your business. Zimba your business by becoming an authorized Uganda National Lottery agent. By paying a security deposit of just 250,000 shillings, you will receive your very own Uganda National Lottery terminal, expert training from the pros themselves, and marketing materials to skyrocket your sales. And with a generous 5% commission on every ticket sold, the potential for earnings is limitless. Don't miss out. Act now and call us toll-free at 0800 33 44 33 to see if you qualify. Join us today and Zimba your business. Ituba Uganda is regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Business news now, and we begin with some rather bad news because police has started preliminary investigations into the fire that destroyed goods belonging to vendors working at St. Kizito Market in Kaleri, which broke out in the wee hours of Monday. The Deputy Kampala Metropolitan Police spokesperson, Luko yesterday, told UBC that goods worth millions of shillings were destroyed, including computers, clothes and shoes.
The fire is believed to have started from the east end of the market along Gayaza Road, spreading rapidly and destroying several wooden stalls. Of course, after receiving this information, the Fire Prevention and Rescue Services responded promptly and successfully contained the fire. While investigations are ongoing to determine the exact cause of the fire, preliminary findings suggest that the fire may have resulted from electrical sparks. According to a few statements we've recorded, some witnesses allege that they had sparks on one of the electric poles, and it's from there that the fire started now in one of the shops. We believe this is because of the illegal power connections and installations within the market's kiosks. Our recommendations is that we urge UMEME to conduct regular inspections of electrical connections, particularly in the wooden structures. We also recommend that all electrical installations in kiosks and shops are carried out by certified personnel.
Very sad incident there. Now, State Minister for Finance and Economic Planning, Amos Lugolobi, has met the African Union delegation in Kampala to discuss economic integration among African countries. Take a watch.
Through the recent adoption of the Agenda 2063 in the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, Africa member countries came up with a 50-year plan for Africa's development, the way to discuss issues on economic integration among African countries.
Look at the fiber optic as an example. 10 years ago, the cost of bandwidth, the cost of internet, was so high. But because of the networking, you could see that one now getting reduced.
Almost the context of the engagement that we're having now with Uganda and many other member states is around the recent adoption of the second 10-year implementation plan of Agenda 2063. As you know, Africa had adopted Agenda 2063 and its implementation is broken up into 10-year phases. We've recently concluded in 2023 the first 10 years of implementation. And out of that process, there was an extensive evaluation and assessment of how we performed as a continent broadly in terms of our performance against the first 10-year implementation plan. And despite...
During the meeting with the African Union delegation, the State Minister for Finance and Economic Planning, Amos Lugolobi, told the meeting that they have resumed with a 10-year development plan to strengthen trade and value addition to the exports.
Increasingly, trading amongst ourselves. We are receiving consignments from Kenya, and Kenya is also receiving from us. Trading amongst us, at least within the EAC, has grown tremendously. we are penetrating SADC, we are within the COMESA region, and we want to, to trade with the North, So trade within Africa is not yet there. It's still a long journey, but I think we are really beginning to move. And with the presence of Auda NEPAD, we should be able to move very far.
The Chief of Staff at African Union Development Agency, AUDA, Dr. Musingathi Sipuka, discussed the plan to polish the first phase of the 50-year plan for Africa's development.
Successes, I think there were some.
Imnat and Juma Nsamba for UBC News.
Now, with support from the Royal Dutch government, Uganda's Alphasan Uganda Limited has successfully adopted advanced technology for veterinary drug manufacturing. Now, this technology, with support from Alphasan Nederland BV, is now domesticated in Uganda and ready to boost local expertise.
In 2023, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni laid the foundation stone for Uganda's first veterinary drug manufacturing facility. Supported by the Royal Dutch government, Alphasan Uganda Limited is now set up to produce veterinary liquids, powders, acaricides, and vaccines, making it the only facility of its kind in Africa. The chairman of Alphasan Uganda Limited, Dr. Salim, emphasized the significance of this milestone.
Only in terms of a factor of this nature, but also research which is homegrown. The results of the research which is homegrown from Makerere on vaccine. And the staff who are here who are very technical. Now that you have been here and you have not seen a single foreigner over here. All the staff are Ugandans and we can achieve it. The factory is ready. And it is beginning to produce animal drugs, that is liquids for livestock, powders, all powders for livestock, and vaccine, anti-tick vaccine, which the line is ready and they have started even the manufacture of that, and we hope that by next month they should go to the field.
The managing director, Dr. Stefan Birungi, noted that President Museveni encouraged Alphasan Uganda to collaborate with Makerere University for research and innovation, empowering Ugandan scientists to lead these advancements.
We are very happy that we are contributing to the technology where homegrown technology from Makerere is not just remaining on the shelf, but is going to be converted into a real product. This is going to be the first where a scientist innovates something from Makerere and it goes all the way to the shelf of Uganda through the partnership with us.
Dr. Birungi also highlighted that the facility is projected to create over 2,000 jobs for Ugandans and generate substantial revenue for the government.
And so that we shall impact 3 million families, farming families. And then we are going also to have 5 billion annually in taxes, pay, domestic taxes, all those, excise duty, all those will be money generated here.
The principal investigator of the anti-tick vaccine development initiative at Makerere University, Professor Margaret Simon Kahwa, brings vast expertise in vaccine development, underscoring the project's focus on building local scientific capacity.
You are ready to go. You are ready now to produce it commercially. You can now sell it to other people, so that when we sell it to the communities or to Uganda, nobody will come around and say, no, you see, my animals was injected and it fell sick.
Let's have a look now at how the shilling fared today against the following selected local and international currencies in our money market report.
Brought to you by download the Wendy app from Google Play or App Store or dial *229#. Wendy Wanaoli.
At Uganda Development Bank, we are committed to empowering communities by supporting projects that unlock excellent economic benefits for Ugandans through job creation, tax contribution, output value, and foreign exchange. We seek partnerships with projects that drive economic development in Uganda.
Vocational education does more of equipping of different skills, ranging from hairdressing, tailoring, catering, and so on. So those are basically the courses that we do, and we do them in different levels. My relationship with UDB came through Yuga Privi. I'm registered with Private Institutions Association. So one time we were invited for a meeting as proprietors of schools, and UDB sold in their idea of offering loans for some of us who are still developing. So Ray happened to be one of those that is not yet fully established. Of course, being a private institution, we didn't have enough structures. So I applied for a loan, and that is how our relationship started. And yeah, so I got the first installment, putting up the preliminaries and the substructure, and the structure is being worked on. I really want to thank UDB so much because the interest is pretty low, and I must say, UDB nafunamu. Thank you so much, UDB, for supporting vocational education.
Uganda Development Bank, inspiring development.
Tuliko ground, Blascon, paint and win. Yes, yeah, Blascon, paint and win. Tuliko ground, Chicho, buy paint worth 100K. Get a scratch card, SMS the code to 7197. Stand a chance to win instant airtime, 1 million shillings bully day there, or a share of a 3 million shillings jackpot each week. What do you want the brand new bodas, tuk-tuks, and so much more. Catch the paint and win action every Monday on Bukede One, NBS, and Sanyuka TV. Blascon, color your world.
Sports news now, and we begin with rugby, where Uganda's Lady Rugby Cranes clinched the bronze medal at the Rugby Africa Women's Sevens in Accra, Ghana, after a gritty 17-5 victory over Madagascar in the third place playoff. The triumph secures Uganda's qualification for the 2025 HSBC World Rugby Challenge Series and marks the second consecutive bronze finish in the continental tournament. The win put Uganda among the 3 African countries for the year's World Challenge Series, joining champions South Africa and runners-up Kenya. The tournament concluded with South Africa defending their title, defeating Kenya 19-10 in the final to maintain their continental supremacy and secure their own Challenger Series berth.
Honor for us to be back into the Challenger Series after a tough tournament. I believe it's a good opportunity for us to continue growing our game, women's rugby in the country as well, to inspire more young girls to come on board and play for the country and represent them. So I believe bouncing back into the series is a very big plus for us. So they might not quickly fit in, but it's all about bringing them into the system so that they can grow quickly in 1 or 2 years so that they're comfortable in the system.
Congratulations to the Ugandan rugby team there. To soccer now, and Uganda's national soccer team, the Cranes, has started training at Mandela National Stadium ahead of 2 Crunch 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers, starting with South Africa this Friday.
If a picture speaks 1,000 words, then the mood in the Uganda Cranes camp ahead of 2 Crunch 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers is of optimism.
First day, first training, the moods were high. Everyone is showing that we need to qualify. The most important thing coming on Friday is about the qualification. Yeah, we need just to work towards it, and everyone is working so hard in training.
The team has held its first training session ahead of games against South Africa this Friday and then Congo-Brazzaville 4 days later.
You know, our first training is always very difficult. We had players who have been playing yesterday. We have been traveling 7, 8, 9 hours in the airport. So it's always difficult and we are not completed. But what I saw today, at least they had the will. They have been performing well, and I think it's very good for the mentality. But it's very difficult to judge the first training. It's always very, very hard.
The training was attended by 20 of the 27 summoned players, including returnee Geoffrey Waswa.
I'm really very happy to be back on the national team, and I thank the coaches and the technical team to recognize me. I know the competition is heavy, but I know I will manage and I can manage it.
Uganda leads Group K that also has South Sudan with 10 points and needs just a point from the remaining fixtures to seal qualification to the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. The top 2 teams from the 12 groups will make the journey. So far, 8, including Morocco, Algeria, Angola, Burkina Faso, Cameroon, Congo, Egypt and Senegal have sealed their places.
And that brings us to the end of this second and final edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV this Monday.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The Journey program on UBC TV is brought to you by Plascon, Color Your World.
Hello viewers,